In the frozen reaches where the forests stand thick and unyielding, the Wendigo waits. Not merely a beast, but a shadow gnawing at the edges of the soul. A specter born from hunger. Beyond hunger, winter beyond winter. The cold air bites deep into bone and breath alike, and in the biting silence, something watches. Tall, gaunt, and unbearably still as death itself. The Wendigo's eyes, like shards of ice, pierce through the darkness, beckoning with a promise too terrible to name. This was a land where the wind carried whispers, stories of those who vanished, swallowed whole by something that was neither entirely beast nor wholly man. Villagers spoke of a creeping madness that would settle deep in the mind, a craving so endless it devoured reason itself. It was said the Wendigo's hunger was a sickness, a curse that once tasted, never released its hold. And the deepest dread was not the creature alone, but what it might do to the hearts of men. Turn brother against brother, friend against friend, until only the maddened remained, howling into the bleached stars. Night crept closer as the sun fled behind the jagged horizon. A lone traveler pressed through the tangled woods, boots sinking into crusted snow, breath puffing ghostly in the frozen air. The silence was thick, too thick, as though the forest itself were holding its breath. Somewhere beyond the skeletal trees came a sound, a faint crack, a whisper like a dry leaf brushing the earth. The traveler's hand tightened around the worn handle of his knife. Every instinct screamed to run, but his feet betrayed him, rooted in place by the creeping chill inside his chest. Legends told of the Wendigo's form, impossibly tall, stretched taut with hunger, skin pale and gray as ash, lips torn away like a cursed thing that could never close its maw. His heart was said to be ice-frozen solid, encased in a chest hollowed by insatiable desire. Fingers gnawed to the bone, claws sharp as winter's knife. Sometimes the Wendigo's head bore antlers, like the silent ghosts of deer lost in the snow, but no eyes to see with. Only a void filled with unrelenting, hollow hunger. The traveler's eyes caught a shape moving between the trees. Too tall to be a man, yet the gait was human enough, dragging with a terrible grace. The forest around him seemed to warp. The shadows grew longer and twisted. The cold intensified like ice sliding under his skin. He knew then the stories were no mere warnings, but truth carved into flesh and bone, a horror alive and biting. A voice, a whistling sigh that rode the wind, called to him. It was the sound of the dead, the hunger of the forgotten. Deeper and deeper it burrowed into his mind, stoking the black flames of desperation. The traveler's breath quickened, the cold no longer outside but now gnawing within. His vision blurred as the spirit of the Wendigo crept into his soul, tainting thoughts with madness. The hunger clawed at reason, promising power for a price far too steep. The woods were no longer safe. The Wendigo stepped out from the gloom, an impossible skeleton towering against the moonlit snow. Eyes like frozen stars locked on his trembling form. The creature moved faster than thought, limbs stretching grotesquely, its claws raking the brittle branches with a sound that echoed like a scream frozen in time. Fear shattered the traveler. His knife flashed, a futile silver gleam against the monstrous hunger. The Wendigo laughed, a sound like ice cracking beneath the weight of a frozen lake, and reached out with fingers that seemed to claw at the fabric of the world itself. His heart hammered like thunder, mind fracturing under the endless cold terror. And then silence. When he woke, the traveler was no longer alone. The hunger was his now. A voice whispered in his head, the curse of the Wendigo, warning that the hunger could never be sated. It dwelled beneath his skin, black as the winter night, growing with each passing moment. It promised endless craving, a torment that would never yield. This hunger was no mere appetite but a sickness of the soul, a slow erosion of the man he once was. What did it mean to be human anymore? To feel the shivering bones and the empty heart that beat only for ravenous emptiness? The traveler stared into the night, the endless expanse of snow whispering secrets only the damned could hear. Out here, beneath the great white silence where the wind wept through broken trees, the Wendigo was no longer a legend. It was a warning, a fate sealed by hunger and madness. It prowled the spaces between thought and flesh, waiting for the next to slip into its icy grasp. And maybe, just maybe, it lived in every hungry heart waiting to break free. The frost thickened, the stars flickered, and somewhere, beyond the cold, the Wendigo waited. Was it the creature outside, or the monster growing within? The forest held its breath, but it did not answer. Only the hunger remained.